This tribe in the Arctic has shocked researchers. The Arctic is a region of extreme cold and amazing beauty, home to many different indigenous communities collectively known as circumpolar peoples. These groups, living across Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Scandinavia, and Russia, have adapted remarkably to one of Earth's harshest environments. Each Arctic tribe has a unique way of life, shaped by their surroundings and centuries of resilience. Among all of them, one especially fascinates us with its tremendous traditions and ability to outshine in the pitiless climate. But before plunging into their story, let us explore some other Arctic tribes. Upic. The Upic worldview is deeply connected to nature, guided by animism, the belief that all elements of nature have spirits. Shamans are of great importance, undertaking the role of mediators between humans and the spirit world. With this ability, they can heal or bring misfortune. At the center of their spirituality is Elam-Yua, the spirit of the universe, seen as the creator of all life. This belief system promotes respect for animals, the environment, and ethical resource use. Art and dance are vital in Upic culture. They carve masks and sculptures from wood and ivory, often with spiritual meanings, and use dance to share traditions during potlatch ceremonies. Historically, the Upic lived as hunter-gatherers, relying on marine mammals like seals and walrus, fish, caribou, and gathered plants. Their hunting methods were advanced, using harpoons, spears, and kayaks. To survive harsh winters, they built semi-subterranean homes called kazgik, communal men's houses, and ine, women's tents, insulated with animal skins. Nenets. The Nenets have deep knowledge of snow, ice, and permafrost, which is essential for surviving in the tundra and managing their reindeer herds. They use a rich vocabulary to describe different snow types, helping them find good grazing areas and predict weather. This knowledge is especially important as climate change alters their environment, affecting migration routes and grazing land. The Nenets live in chums, cone-shaped tents made from reindeer hides. These tents are built to handle extreme cold, sometimes below -50 degrees Celsius, and can be quickly set up or taken down for seasonal migrations. The reindeer hides also provide insulation to keep the chums warm, showing how well the Nenets have adapted to their harsh climate. Their way of life is rooted in community and a strong connection to the land. They depend on unrestricted access to pastures for their reindeer, but this is increasingly at risk due to industrial projects like the Yamal mega project. These developments disrupt migration routes and bring pollution, threatening their traditional way of life. Nenet society is organized into clans, with lineage passed down through the father. Each clan has its own land and customs, with elders playing a key role in decisions. Shamans, called Tadibia, are central to Nenet's culture, acting as spiritual mediators and performing rituals to maintain balance between humans and nature. Aleuts. The term Aleut was introduced by Russian fur traders in the 18th century and was used to describe both the Unangaks and Sugpiaq peoples. The Unangaks lived in the Aleutian Islands, while the Sugpiaq inhabited Kodiak Island and spoke a different dialect. The arrival of Russian colonizers in 1741 marked a dramatic change for the Aleut people. While trade initially defined their relationship, it quickly turned exploitative. Fur traders overhunted sea otters and seals, while disease, warfare, and forced labor devastated the Aleut population, which fell from about 25,000 to 2,000 by the late 19th century. The Aleut language, Unangam Tunu, is unique yet closely related to other native Alaskan languages. Once widely spoken, it now has only about 109 fluent speakers due to the impacts of colonization and cultural disruption. Efforts are ongoing to revive the language, as it is a key part of Aleut's cultural identity. Aleut spirituality traditionally involved animism and shamanistic practices, with a deep respect for nature and its spirits. Russian Orthodox missionaries brought Christianity to the Aleuts, and while many converted, traditional beliefs often blended with Orthodox practices. Aleut men were expert hunters, targeting marine mammals like seals, sea otters, whales, and walrus using ikiaks, skin-covered kayaks, and umiaks for group hunts. Women complemented this lifestyle by gathering fish, birds, shellfish, and wild plants such as berries. This subsistence way of life was not only practical, but also strengthened community ties through shared efforts. Apart from this, the Aleuts have also faced significant challenges under US government policies. During World War II, many were forcibly relocated to internment camps with poor living conditions. To address these wrongs, Congress passed the Alutiiq Restitution Act in 1988, offering compensation to those affected by the internment. Despite these hardships, the Alutiiq people continue to honor their history and traditions while adapting to modern life. Corak. The Corak society follows patrilineal family systems and monogamous marriage. They do not have formal tribal leadership, and decisions are often made collectively within families. Shamanism plays a key role in their spiritual life, with family-based and professional shamans conducting rituals to heal and connect with spirits through drumming. Their beliefs emphasize respect for nature and ancestors. Traditionally, the Corak lived off reindeer herding, fishing, and hunting. Reindeer were vital, providing food, clothing, tools, and transport. Every part of the reindeer was used, from its meat to its hides. Coastal Koraks built semi-underground homes for winter and pole-frame tents for summer, adapting well to seasonal changes. Fishing was essential for coastal communities, and they used wooden or animal skin boats to catch fish and marine animals. Women also gathered berries and roots during the short summers. The Corak language is part of the Paleo-Siberian group, but historical pressures, such as Soviet-era assimilation policies, have caused a decline in its use. Many now primarily speak Russian, though efforts are underway to revive the language through education and literacy programs. The 2007 merger of the Corak Autonomous Okrug with Kamchatka Krai further complicated indigenous representation, raising concerns about the marginalization of Corak cultural and political identity. The Evks and Evens. The Evks and Evens with a shared history tied to ancient Tungusic-speaking tribes. The Evks traced their origins to these tribes and settled between Lake Baikal and the Amur River by the 11th century BCE, interacting with the Yukagir people. In the 17th century, they encountered Russian explorers and Cossacks, who imposed a fur tax, yasak, on them, exploiting their resources and pushing them to expand into new territories. The Evens also emerged from Tungusic-speaking tribes, blending with other native Siberian peoples like the Yukagir and Yakut. They primarily live in northeastern Siberia, around the Sea of Okhotsk. Like the Evks, the Evens resisted Russian colonization in the 17th century, but were eventually subdued by 1700. Both the Evks and Evens traditionally relied on a mixed economy of reindeer herding and hunting. The Evks led a mobile lifestyle, using reindeer for transportation and sustenance. They lived in conical tents made from birch bark or reindeer hides, which were easy to transport as they moved across vast lands. Their diet included reindeer meat, fish, and game like elk and roe deer. The Evens also herded reindeer, but in smaller numbers compared to other indigenous groups. They supplemented their economy with fishing and used fish skins for clothing and shelter. Both groups practiced communal sharing of resources, where the principle of Nemat discouraged hoarding meat from hunts, promoting a culture of sharing. Leadership within both groups was typically held by an assembly of elders, including shamans who played important roles in healing and spiritual guidance. The word shaman comes from the Evenk language, highlighting their rich tradition of shamanism. The Evenk language is part of the Manchu-Tungusic family, closely related to other indigenous languages in Siberia, while the Evens speak a distinct language that shares similarities with Evenk, but has differences due to neighboring cultural influences. Both languages are at risk as younger generations increasingly speak Russian. Yukagir. The Yukagirs have strong spiritual beliefs that combine shamanism with animism, showing their close bond with nature and respect for their ancestors' traditions. Their spiritual worldview is characterized by the belief in a multitude of spirits, including ancestral spirits and natural entities associated with elements like fire, water, and the sun, known as Pugu. This sun deity is particularly revered as the highest judge, overseeing moral conduct and community relations. Shamanism plays a central role in Yukagir spirituality. Each clan traditionally has a shaman, referred to as an Alma, who acts as a mediator between the spiritual and physical worlds. The Alma is believed to possess the ability to heal illnesses caused by malevolent spirits and to provide protection against various dangers. Upon their death, shamans are venerated as deities. Their remains are treated with reverence, often dismembered and preserved as sacred relics by their clans. The Yukagirs also practice rituals that honor animal spirits, reflecting their animistic beliefs. They view animals as kin, often believing that each species has its own spirit or patron that must be respected through proper hunting practices. This respect is crucial Hunters who adhere to unwritten rules about sustainable hunting are considered lucky. Rituals surrounding hunting, particularly for elk and reindeer, are steeped in taboos and customs designed to maintain harmony with these spirits. Additionally, the Yukagirs have a profound respect for natural elements, believing that trees and other natural objects have spirits that protect them. This belief fosters a sense of kinship with nature, leading to rituals that reinforce this connection. For instance, they engage in ceremonies that acknowledge trees as tree brothers, highlighting the interconnectedness of all living beings. Dreams hold deep spiritual importance for the Yukagirs, who believe that they can reveal future events or predict changes in weather, knowledge essential for survival in Siberia's harsh environment. Shamans play a key role in interpreting dreams, offering guidance based on their prophetic significance. Although Russian Orthodox Christianity has influenced some Yukagirs, many continue to blend Christian practices with their traditional shamanistic beliefs. The Yukagir people adapted their way of life to the diverse landscapes they inhabited. Tundra Yukagirs focused on reindeer herding, while forest Yukagirs relied heavily on hunting and fishing. Their economy revolved around hunting, fishing, and gathering, with activities shaped by the seasons. They followed the migrations of elk and wild reindeer, using age-old hunting techniques, and fishing was crucial, often carried out with canoes during river runs. Women contributed by gathering edible plants during the warmer months. Their deep knowledge of the environment enabled the Yukagirs to endure the challenges of tundra and forest living. Before adopting metal tools in the 1920s, the Yukagirs crafted their tools from wood, bone, and stone, which were essential for hunting and fishing. Their homes varied with the seasons. Winter dwellings were sturdier, made from wood or bark, while summer shelters were lightweight and temporary, constructed from skins or leaves. This adaptability and resourcefulness were vital for survival in their demanding climate. Gwich'in and Dene. The Gwich'in and Dene peoples have a strong cultural connection to caribou, which is central to both their way of life and spiritual beliefs. Caribou are more than just a food source. They are an important part of their identity, history, and daily activities. Known as Vadzai in Gwich'in, caribou are deeply tied to Gwich'in culture. Sarah James, a respected Gwich'in leader, expresses this bond by saying, "We are the caribou people. Caribou are not just what we eat, they are who we are." Historically, caribou provided not only food but also materials for clothing, shelter, and tools. The Gwich'in used caribou hides to make tents and their fur for bedding and clothes. The cultural importance of caribou is reflected in their stories and traditions, including creation myths that describe how the Gwich'in people were separated from the caribou, highlighting their deep connection. Hunting caribou is a central part of Gwich'in life. They traditionally depended on the porcupine caribou herd, which migrates through their land. This herd is vital to their diet and culture. The Gwich'in have learned a great deal about caribou behavior and habitats, which helps them hunt in a sustainable way. Elders in the community play an important role in passing down this knowledge to younger generations, teaching them to respect and protect caribou. Environmental changes and outside pressures on caribou populations have led the Gwich'in to become strong advocates for protecting them. They have strongly opposed oil drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, ANWR, fearing it would harm the porcupine caribou herd's calving grounds. The Gwich'in Social and Cultural Institute works to preserve traditional knowledge about caribou and promote sustainable practices that align with their cultural values. Caribou are also an important part of Gwich'in social life, featured in cultural events and ceremonies. Traditional dances celebrate the caribou's role, strengthening community bonds and cultural identity. The connection to caribou is also seen in many stories that emphasize their importance for survival and everyday life. The Dene people, who include groups like the Slavey, Dogrib Tlicho, and Yellowknives Dene, live in Canada's Northwest Territories and parts of Alaska. They belong to the larger Athabascan language family and have traditionally led semi-nomadic lives, hunting, fishing, and trapping. Dene culture emphasizes living in harmony with nature. Their languages are an essential part of their identity, though many are endangered due to external pressures. Dene craftsmanship includes beadwork, animal hide clothing, and tools made from natural materials, reflecting their environment and spiritual beliefs. Like the Gwich'in, the Dene also has rich oral traditions that pass down history and morals. The Dene see themselves as caretakers of the land, following animal migrations and plant cycles in their seasonal movements. Hunting is not only for food, but is also a spiritual practice, often accompanied by ceremonies to honor the animals taken. Inuit. Hunting is central to Inuit life, and they developed sophisticated methods to hunt animals, using harpoons for marine mammals and bows and arrows for land animals. They also mastered navigating icy waters with kayaks and larger umiaks, demonstrating their deep understanding of their environment. Every part of the animals they hunted was used. For example, caribou provided meat, hides for clothing, and fat for oil lamps, kulik, while bones were crafted into tools. This sustainable approach reflects their respect for nature. Inuit clothing, made from caribou or sealskin, is designed for extreme cold. Parkas and mukluks, footwear made from animal hides, protect them from the Arctic temperatures. These garments are often decorated with intricate designs that represent cultural identity. The Inuit speak languages from the Inuit family, with Inuktitut being widely spoken among Canadian Inuit. Language is crucial for preserving their culture, as it carries traditional knowledge, stories, and values. Inuit art, known for its intricate carvings of animals and scenes from traditional life, is made from materials like soapstone, walrus tusks, and bone. These artworks often hold spiritual significance. Storytelling is also a vital part of Inuit culture, as oral traditions pass down survival skills, history, and moral lessons. Housing varied with the seasons. In winter, they built igloos from compacted snow for insulation, while in summer, they lived in tents or turf huts made from stones and driftwood near hunting grounds or water sources. Inuit society has traditionally emphasized cooperation and community support, with families working together during hunts and sharing resources fairly. Parenting focused on kindness and patience, with children learning by observing rather than through punishment. This communal approach created a strong sense of belonging and mutual responsibility, helping the Inuit maintain their cultural identity despite external challenges. However, Inuit communities have also faced significant challenges. The shift from a nomadic lifestyle to settled communities disrupted traditional food security systems. As a result, many Inuit now rely on store-bought food, which is often costly and less nutritious than their traditional diet. Social issues such as alcoholism, high youth suicide rates, and mental health struggles have also emerged due to rapid changes in lifestyle and the erosion of cultural practices. Despite these difficulties, efforts are being made to revive traditional practices, including educational programs focused on language preservation, hunting skills, and community wellness. Khti and Mani. The Khti and Mani tribes are known for their bear cult practices, which play a central role in their spiritual beliefs and social life. These practices reflect a deep connection with nature and the animal world. The bear holds a special place in their culture, often seen as a relative or ancestor. In their beliefs, the bear is considered the son of the supreme god Torum, representing justice and serving as a protector of the forest. This respect for the bear is evident in their rituals, especially during and after bear hunts, which are marked by elaborate ceremonies to honor the bear's spirit and ensure the community's well-being. After a bear is hunted, a ceremonial festival is held to show respect for its spirit. The bear's body is carefully treated. Its skin is decorated with ribbons and placed in a respectful pose inside the home. The festival includes singing, dancing, and storytelling performances that highlight the bear's importance in their worldview. These rituals help the community cope with the guilt of killing the bear, strengthen social bonds, and reaffirm their connection to nature. The Khti and Mani follow a patrilineal system, where lineage and inheritance pass through male family members. This system shapes their social organization and cultural traditions. Bear ceremonies often occur in communal settings, symbolizing the collective identity of the tribes. While smaller rituals might take place in individual homes, larger celebrations may involve building special communal houses, fostering unity and preserving their shared heritage. Performance is a key part of these ceremonies. Participants wear masks and costumes representing different roles in the community and nature. These performances not only entertain, but also pass down traditions and beliefs to younger generations. The inclusion of shamanistic elements, with shamans acting as bridges between humans and the spirit world, shows how spirituality and social life are deeply connected for the Khti and Mani. Their economy is deeply connected to the taiga forests and rivers, which provide the resources they need. The Khti are believed to have originated from the Arctic, while the Mani have links to Finno-Ugric migrations. Both groups are traditionally divided into tribes or clans, each with unique customs and territories that change with the seasons. The Khanty-Mansi Autonomous Okrug in Russia plays a central role in efforts to promote and preserve indigenous cultures. Exhibitions featuring Khanty and Mansi artifacts help raise awareness of their rich heritage, and federal policies are increasingly recognizing their rights as indigenous peoples while supporting minority cultures. Sami tribe. Let's now focus on the Sami tribe, which has surprised researchers with its unique culture. The Sami people, an indigenous group from Sapmi which stretches across northern Norway, Sweden, Finland, and parts of Russia's Kola Peninsula, have a unique and resilient culture shaped by their harsh Arctic environment. Their origins can be traced back around 10,000 years after the last ice age, when early settlers began migrating across northern Europe. Over millennia, the Sami developed distinct traditions, languages, and ways of life that adapted to the region's challenges. Historically, the Sami engaged in hunting, fishing, and foraging, adjusting to seasonal changes. By around 1500 CE, many Sami began domesticating reindeer, which became central to their way of life and cultural identity. Reindeer herding, perhaps the most well-known aspect of Sami culture, is still practiced by around 10,000 Sami people in Norway and Sweden. Reindeer are vital to their survival, providing food, clothing, and other essential materials. Every part of the animal is used, from the meat to the hides. Traditional dishes like bidos, a hearty stew made from reindeer meat, potatoes, and carrots, highlight the importance of reindeer in the Sami diet. In addition to providing sustenance, reindeer herding plays a significant role in the Sami's nomadic lifestyle. They traditionally migrated with their herds along seasonal routes called varjat, allowing them to utilize different grazing areas throughout the year. This nomadic tradition is legally protected in both Norway and Sweden, ensuring that reindeer herding remains an exclusive Sami livelihood. Throughout history, the Sami have faced numerous challenges, particularly from neighboring cultures and governments. In the 16th century, the expansion of Scandinavian states led to increased taxes and the loss of Sami land. The 18th and 19th centuries saw missionary efforts that aimed to convert the Sami to Christianity, further threatening their traditional beliefs and practices. Despite these struggles, the Sami have managed to preserve much of their cultural heritage and continue to practice many of their traditions. Sami culture is also rich in music and art. One of the most distinctive features is Upic, a traditional form of singing that can be dedicated to people, animals, or places. Known for its unique vocal style, Upic is considered one of Europe's oldest musical traditions. Sami art reflects their deep connection to nature, with vibrant handicrafts like dwoji, which include weaving, carving, and metalwork. Silver jewelry, often adorned with protective symbols, is a key feature of Sami handicrafts and is commonly worn during special occasions. The traditional clothing, Khti, is both functional and beautiful, featuring colorful patterns and silver accessories that showcase the Sami's aesthetic sensibility. Historically, Sami spirituality was rooted in animism and shamanistic practices, with a reverence for nature spirits associated with animals and natural elements. Sacred stones or trees, known as seita, were believed to house spirits or deities and played an important role in their spiritual practices. Although many Sami converted to Christianity over time, with Lutheranism or Eastern Orthodoxy becoming prominent, elements of traditional spirituality continue to influence contemporary Sami culture. Despite the historical repression and assimilation efforts, the Sami have shown remarkable resilience in preserving their cultural identity. Their ability to adapt to changing times while maintaining their traditions continues to inspire and shape their future. Thank you for watching the video to the end. If you liked it, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel to enjoy more similar content. We'd love to hear your thoughts on fascinating things you have heard about the Sami tribe in the comments. Until next time.